There is one person in your life who didn't just hurt you, they rewired you. And chances are, you've never fully said what needed to be said. We're talking about the kind of pain that doesn't announce itself with a dramatic exit or a clean break. It accumulates quietly, the way water damage ruins a wall from the inside, invisible until everything collapses at once. For millions of people, that source is someone they trusted completely. A parent, a partner, a best friend, or sometimes, heartbreakingly, all three rolled into one person. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The person who hurt you most probably didn't see themselves as a villain. They handed out damage like it was a gift, wrapped in love language and good intentions, and that is precisely what made it so devastating. Think about it. A stranger can bruise you, but only someone you let inside can leave the kind of marks that show up years later in how you flinch at affection or apologize for existing. So who are we actually talking about? Maybe it's a parent who called their cruelty discipline, or a partner who called their control devotion, or a friend who called their betrayal honesty labels matter. And the people who hurt us most are often master rebranders. The specifics shift from story to story, but the architecture of that pain is eerily consistent. Broken trust, repeated patterns, and the slow erosion of your sense of what you deserve. Now here's where it gets psychologically fascinating. Researchers at places like the University of Miami found that expressive writing about emotional trauma for as little as 20 minutes over 4 days measurably improved both mental and physical health outcomes for participants. That is not a small finding, and yet most of us would rather do almost anything else, reorganize a junk drawer, rewatch a show we've already seen 3 times, alphabetize snacks, then sit down and write the letter we've needed to write for years. The avoidance itself becomes its own quiet wound. Writing a letter to the person who hurt you most is not new. It echoes everything from ancient Stoic journaling to modern cognitive behavioral therapy. History is full of people who transformed unsent letters into fuel. Darwin reportedly wrote scathing letters he never mailed. Lincoln famously drafted what historians call hot letters to generals, and then filed them away with a note reading, "Never sent, never signed." The pattern is ancient because the need is ancient. We are meaning-making creatures who require narrative to metabolize pain. Let's be clear about what this letter is not. It is not a weapon, and it is not begging. This is the misconception that stops people cold before they ever pick up the pen, because we conflate expression with confrontation and vulnerability with weakness. Writing this letter is actually one of the most strategically sound emotional moves you can make, because it transfers the story from your nervous system onto a page where it loses some of its power to ambush you at 2 a.m. So what does the letter actually say? It names the specific actions, not vague accusations, but concrete moments. The dinner table comment that stayed with you for a decade, the silence after you needed someone to speak, the loyalty that evaporated the moment it cost something. It says, here's what happened, here's what it cost me, here's what I needed and did not get, and here, and this is the hardest part, is what I'm choosing to do with it now. Did sending it, or choosing not to send it, actually accomplish anything? Here's where the data and the human experience align in a rare and beautiful way. The research consistently shows the therapeutic value lives in the writing, not the delivery, which means you hold all the power and none of the liability. Whether the letter arrived or stayed in a drawer, in a burn pile, or in a folder you'll never open again, the act of articulating your truth out loud, even just to yourself, interrupts the loop. The irony, of course, is that the person who caused you the most pain probably spends very little time thinking about it. You've been carrying a conversation they may have forgotten, replaying moments they've long since moved on from, and the letter sent or unsent is how you stop subsidizing their peace with your own. It is in the most practical sense an act of repossession. Discipline here doesn't mean suppression. It means choosing the format, the timing, and the intention with enough care that the act serves you rather than re-traumatizes you, and that distinction is everything. You don't need resolution from them to write the letter. You don't need a response to find relief. You just need the courage to be honest in writing with yourself first, and then decide what, if anything, to do with that honesty. If the idea of sending it feels terrifying, that feeling is data sit with it, because the fear usually points directly at what still needs to be said. If this hit something for you, go write your version. You might be surprised what you find. And if you like the video, subscribe and check out all our other topics.